The Nigerian police force has stated that no court order restrained it from enforcing the tinted glass permit policy, describing claims to the contrary as a misrepresentation of a court ruling. The force spokesman, Benjamin Hundeyin, stated this on Tuesday in Abuja while responding to questions from journalists on the Nigerian Bar Association's move to file a contempt suit against the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun. NBA had threatened to file the suit after the police reintroduced the enforcement of the tinted glass permit policy on Monday, following its suspension in October this year. The force spokesman said a court order being cited by many merely directed the maintenance of the status quo at the time it was issued, when enforcement of the policy was already ongoing. He noted that no specific timeline was attached to the suspension and that the police had hoped the legal process will be concluded within that period. We're now being joined by a lawyer, Victor Opatola, to the ensuing controversy over the tinted glass matter. It's good to have you with us. What are your thoughts on this, can we call it rigmarole of a tinted glass issue?
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. The recent press release from the Nigerian police force is particularly striking in the sense that the Nigerian police force has now begun to frame the issues, by coming out to say that what the court, ordered was for it to maintain status quo, and by the time the court, decided that the permit itself, or the Nigerian police have already started enforcing the permit, it shows that the Nigerian police force is making effort to frame the issue in order to confuse unsuspecting Nigeria who do not actually understand how the legal process works. So in order to put it into the right perspective, when you file a process, you are filing a process and you are, adumbrating in the process, stating certain facts in your affidavit or statement on oath, as the case may be. The facts within those periods are what you're stating. And if the court is making a decision based on what you've filed, the court is making a decision based on the facts you have filed. So the Nigerian police coming out to state that there's a status quo which the court ordered, and by the time it made that order, the permit was already enforced. It's a deliberate and intentionally wrong framing to confuse Nigerians, because the order, the fact before the court was the basis upon which the order was made. The fact which was before the court were already introduced and filed even long, before that particular day, or before the permit was enforced, as the case may be. So the important thing, in order to redirect and properly frame issues, Nigerians must understand that the Nigerian police is wrongly framing the issues to confuse Nigerians who do not really understand how the legal process works. The order of the court was based on fact that has been previously filed before the enforcement of the permit. So when the court gave its order, it was giving its order based on what was obtainable even before the permit was even before the Nigerian police started enforcing the permit. So the first PRO coming out to state that the status quo was ordered, and by the time the status quo was ordered, the permit was already enforced is mischievous, and Nigerians will not actually be surprised, because the Nigerian police force has a very low, how do I put it? It has a low consciousness of the judicial process and constitutional democracy, as the case may be. Normally, the way it is that if a matter is in court, constitutional democracy, especially a matter that is questioning the enabling act, whether or not the National Assembly can enact a law which affect vehicles all over Nigeria, yes. That is, questioning the particular law. So the normal thing is that the Nigerian police maintain status quo as ordered by the court. And most importantly, when you look at the framing of this issue, you will understand that when it comes to security issues in Nigeria, we have a commander-in-chief, which is the president. The security issues and security briefings goes from the commander-in-chief to the Inspector General of Police. Absolutely. So in this particular instance, the right framing will be that it is the presidency, it is the president that is specifically and intentionally deciding to make lives of Nigerians very difficult, by the beginning of the new year. Because the IGP takes security directive from the president in this particular instance, and the police.
I beg your pardon. We do have 1 minute, and I think it's very important that you answer this question. You've rightly said that the Nigerian police is wrongly framing the issue to confuse Nigeria, and the Nigerian police force has a low consciousness of the judicial process. So when this time comes, by January the 2nd, I believe, and some Nigerians might not adhere to this announcement by the Nigerian police, what would be the appropriate reaction for those that might be harassed by members of the Nigerian police force by not going through the process of obtaining the permits or the paperwork for tinted glass permits?
The order of the court still stands, which is for all the parties to maintain status quo. As at the time the matter was filed, the status quo was that the permit was not enforced. The permit was not in motion. As at the time the status quo, the the processes were filed. So Nigerians, when January 2020 and 2026 comes, the police must maintain the status quo. Doing otherwise is deliberately and intentionally going against the order of the court. And I believe the Nigerian police force knows better. It has enough lawyers in its legal department to properly guide it.
Indeed. Victor Opatola, lawyer, I would like to thank you for your thoughts on the tinted glass matter, which is currently ongoing. It's good to have you with us.